there team, Coach Alexa here. I've had a magnificent book that I've been reading, a sports psychology style of book recently called The Brave Athlete, Calm the Hell Down and Rise to the Occasion. I'm abbreviating the other one they've used for it, by Simon Marshall and Leslie Patterson. First, the disclaimer: if you don't like swearing, possibly not the book for you, because they swear quite a lot, but you know, I don't mind that, and I think it's a useful and fun way, particularly in difficult situations, of getting their point across. So why do I like this book? A few key reasons really, one of which I think they explain things very clearly, very well, and because it's written by people who have themselves and have worked with others who have done long distance events, so triathlons, marathons, ultras, etc. They really do have a lot of running specific experience and examples in the book that are super useful. They also use analogies very well. They describe things, sort of quite complex topics really, in terms of how the brain works with regard to sports psychology, and they make that as easy as they can do, really simplifying things but giving you the knowledge that you need in order to understand yourself, your brain and your behaviour that little bit better, which is amazing. So the first part of the book gives you that kind of groundwork on the human brain, a little bit of sports psychology 101, and then the rest of the book is split into about 15-16 sections, each on different topics that they've ended up working with athletes on over the years, and a lot of those are, again, you know, really useful. They come with case studies, so runners that they've worked with these different techniques and tried them and how effective it's been, and each section comes with a workbook style element to it, so activities for you to actually do and complete within the book to help you work through some of the suggestions and strategies that they're putting forward in each chapter. So I'm going to highlight 5 different ones that I thought would be particularly useful, because they're probably the ones that crop up the most with the runners that I work with that are covered in this book, but there are a good 9 or 10 others alongside this, so well worth buying it and then, you know, using it as that information, but also that workbook element to work on the things that you think would be useful for you. So one was when you want to do something but you don't do it. So that might be fitting in a training session when things are really busy. You want to do it in the morning, you don't. So you say you're going to do it later in the day, but you don't. So you might catch up with it tomorrow, but you don't, and you end up missing the session. And they mentioned in the book something that happens with my runners quite a lot is that tends to apply more to strength training and things like that than it does to running. So a really useful section on how to work to your brain's strengths when it comes to that avoidance type behaviour. Coping with injury, some skills, tool set, strategies to deal with that, a common one, and one that I think as runners we can often find quite hard. About leaving your comfort zone, and it's something that I often chat to people about if they're doing their first 10k, first half marathon, first marathon. There's always a time when you're going to be doing that distance, or even a time at that distance, for the first time. So that will involve pushing and leaving your existing comfort zone a little. So fascinating chapter there. And then linked to that, another section about resisting the urge to quit. So when you're in that final 10k of a marathon, for example, how to push on, maintain focus, maintain strength, and keep going. Because in a lot of endurance events, it's the performance on race day is as much about what the brain is up to as about what the body is up to. So that's a really useful thing to read a little bit more about. And the final one, which again crops up a huge amount and I talk with lots of my runners about, is stress and anxiety on race day. So yeah, really good topics. Those are just my 5 kind of favourites. There's lots more in the book. I'd give it a read. You know, if you want to improve your running, not just from a physical training perspective and buying the latest shoes, but for the pro athlete and at an everyday kind of runner perspective, a lot of performance can be unlocked by working a little bit on what's between our ears. So The Brave Athlete, Calm the Down, by Simon Marshall and Leslie Patterson, would highly recommend.